All right, folks. Hey, I am a coach and mentor to a plant manager of a capital intensive manufacturing operation. And by capital intensive, I mean there's a lot of large equipment. Equipment is the process. So large mills, presses, conveying systems, very heavy equipment, kind of steel mill-esque, if you will. So kind of get that in your mind. This plant manager is new to the role. Previous manager was removed because they were looking for a step change in performance, and it just wasn't getting done with the previous plant manager. My current mentee, his background is in finance. He's very talented, very good with systems, very good with people. But when you're looking at current state of this operation, very high reliability issues, just intense reliability issues. Mills go down, equipment breaks, down for 2 weeks, down for 3 weeks, down for, 4 weeks, I think has been the most extreme one, but just variability all over the place, okay? So that's kind of current state from a reliability standpoint, but they also have a lot of problems with their systems in planning and scheduling and within their quality, within marketing, within sales, just all these other things. And so this mentee of mine just said, "Hey, Joe, where to start?" Okay. And if you watch any of my videos, you look where to start is you got to understand current state intimately. Yeah, we got a lot of these KPIs, got a lot of stories from people about the problems, but hey, always start with observation, okay? And this person, one's going to do that. Number two is a heavy bias of the organization to start with planning and scheduling, to sales, some marketing stuff that they wanted to do. And I said, I don't think that's wise. And here's why. One of the things I remember from college, I took some statistics classes, and the first thing you do when you're trying to control a process is to control variability, then adjust the mean. Variability just kills a process. You can't keep your head above water. You got to get that variability low, and then you try to get it in spec and get it to be more and more repeatable, if that makes sense to you. So you got to control variability. So no matter how good you get your planning, scheduling, sales, marketing systems, if your plant is not reliable and you're running for 3 months and then you're down for 2 months unexpectedly, you're never going to get a hit. Now, I know what your maintenance manager is telling you. Your maintenance manager is telling you that, hey, as soon as we get caught up on our unplanned work, we've had this downtime, we got that fixed, we're going to be up and running, great. Folks, if you're in a reactive culture and you have unplanned downtime, you got a bunch of other bombs and traps getting ready to go off that you just don't know about. You never get caught up on your backlog when you're in a reactive culture. That is probably the number one thing I hear from maintenance managers and plant managers parroting is, hey, we're going to get caught up on these things. We're going to get the mill up and running. We're going to get the process up and running, and then everything's going to be great. Well, you fix one thing in a reactive culture, there's 2, 3, 4 more out there getting ready to hit you next week, and you never catch up. It's a death spiral. I promise you, it's a death spiral. Reactive culture, you never get caught up. Never. You've got to know your waste, and you got to apply the best practices to that waste, whether it's executing your PMs, increasing your efficiency, doing predictive maintenance, doing problem solving, based on your observation. You've got to employ one of these tools. You will never, remember this from this video, you will never get caught up on your backlog in a reactive culture. It just doesn't happen. It's an illusion. It's almost every plant maintenance manager that is in a reactive culture will tell you that, and eventually they get removed. Okay, so folks, my recommendation is if you're in a capital intensive process, really any process, understand your current state intimately. Okay, And then if you got high variability, wherever it is, even if it's in marketing, if it's in planning, but this plant, it's very clearly in the running of the equipment. Very clearly, you got to attack that. Okay, you got to attack that. Attack variability first. Related to that, folks, quite often, if you're a plant manager and your background's in finance, your background's in sales, your background's in HR, whatever it happens to be, you're going to have a bias to do everything but work on equipment because of fear. It's not your area of expertise, so you'll come up with any excuse not to work on something technical. You got to work on the technical issues associated with reliability. I see this all the time. People put together these great cases of why they shouldn't work on equipment reliability. And if you don't have equipment reliability, doesn't matter how good your sales is, doesn't matter how good your planning, your production planning is. It doesn't matter if you can't make the stuff on any predictable cycle at all. So anyway, I thought you could benefit from that. Folks, you got to control variability first. You got to intimately know where your variability is. And remember, most of you, if you don't have an engineering background or maintenance background, you're going to have a bias to work on everything but reliability. This is Joe out.